Hey everybody, it's Jim. Welcome to summer. There's been a lot of weird weather, especially northwest of here, up in Seattle and Portland. They're experiencing 115, 108. None of that global warming. Obviously that's just science fiction. That's all Star Trek. That's nothing, right? So anyway, I just want to let you know, since it is pretty warm here where I am, I'm going to actually work on this. Yes, probably not the best time to do this, but this is Pinky of Pinky in the Brain. If you don't know who that is, well, you probably should go and research that. But yeah, Pinky in the Brain, Animaniacs. Used to work on that show. The first one, the original one in the 90s, it's back, and I've decided to make a Pinky to go along with my brain. Now, here's my brain. Hello, Pinky. Yes, Pinky, we're going to take over the world. Oh, Pinky, you drive me insane. So anyway, yeah, that's my worst impersonation of Pinky. But anyway, we need a companion to the brain, and that is Pinky. So if we've learned anything so far, it's Pinky in the Brain from Animaniacs. And now I am going to sculpt, yes, sculpt for you live. Well, not really live, more recorded. But yeah, so we're just going to try this out, see how it is. Send me a like or a comment below. You let other people know that this is such a boring thing, and that you just it cured your insomnia, basically. That's a good thing. So yeah, any comments you have, put them down there below. That'd be great. It's pretty hot here too. See how hot it is? Wow, it's stuck to me. So here we go. A model sheet of our character Pinky, and this is where we last left off. I have some Sculpey already on a armature wire right here, and how I like to work, I guess, is just to start off with one thing and do that for a while. And in this case, I'm trying to put the muzzle of Pinky's face, his nose and muzzle area, mouth and all that. I'm attaching it to the head and basically just wiggling it around and bending the wires and trying to wrap them around the wires that are already there, and trying to just get a nice kind of a secure nose. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just don't want it to fall off. And here I'm just kind of using my fingers. Notice it is still a little wiggly there, but that's okay, because now I'm going to start working on something else, and that's the ears. So Pinky's got these ears, and the easiest way to do that is just to make a wire frame kind of the ear, and then attach it to the head, and then attach the other one to the other side of the head, and then apply Sculpey to the ears. Now, as you can see, I'm just kind of eyeballing it myself and trying to figure out where I'm going to put the ears, how they're going to attach to the head. So here I'm just trying to kind of size up another piece of wire to make the opposite ear and twist it around a little bit. And the hardest part about this was just putting the ears onto the frame. You can't just stick these into the Sculpey because they will fall off. You need to have it somehow secured to the wire, and so that's what those are for right there. And so you got to twist them a bit and just kind of try to get them. Try not to drop them on the ground there, but you're just trying to get the opposite ear. And then to attach them to the head, it just was a thing where I just was pushing the
the parts into the clay and around that piece of wire that was for the head. Once I got one attached, it was a little easier. I could take the other one. See, I'm just sizing it up here, trying to get it as evenly as possible. And I flip it like that so I know that it's the opposite. There we go. And then I attach it to the head as best I can. And yeah, so that's what that is. So basically, I've got the ears and the muzzle to the character done. And again, you get these extra pieces of wire sticking out. And, you can use wire cutters to cut them off, or you can use those to bend them. If you can't use your fingers, use the tools to help you out, because sometimes it's a little easier to get that little piece of wire and then bend it with a tool, as opposed to you trying to use your fingers. It's harder to do. So anyway, this is the real kind of nuts and bolts of the whole thing. This is not the exciting part of the show. So as you can see, it takes some time to do. And see, I have that little spot sticking out, this pointy thing. I got to kind of move it into his head somehow, wrap it around that piece of wire somehow, and then cover it with Sculpey. You don't want any of your armature sticking out of your Sculpey skin, unless that's, the character. Maybe he's a Terminator or something, I don't know. But yeah, in this case, I'm just doing that, and looking pretty good. And okay, so okay, there we go. So yeah, so that's all I'm doing, is just kind of getting the head, bending the ears back. And as I do this, I'm always comparing it to my model sheet, just to kind of, so you can kind of see where it's going. Now his eyes aren't there yet. I'll put those in later. Basically, that's it. I'm done. And, again, if it's up to you. I mean, if you are, get to a certain point and you feel a little frustrated, or the Sculpey is too soft or something, you can always, just leave it alone for a while. Don't touch it. Come back in an hour or so, and it'll be nice and, not so warm, and you can go back and finish it up. So here I'm just putting a muzzle on there, just kind of trying to figure out how to get this face to look kind of bent out like that. And what's nice is you got the wire here, so you can actually bend, the shape up. So here I'm kind of bending his nozzle up, and I'll put like a nose on there later. And all I'm doing here is just kind of adding to this. I'm putting a little bit of a, kind of Sculpey under his mouth there. And if you notice that the drawing, you don't really see his bottom of his mouth. It kind of, the snoot is what you see, and you see those two big teeth, buck teeth, but you don't ever see his mouth when it's closed. It's kind of underneath that big muzzle. So that's all I'm doing there. I'm just kind of moving it about. And then I get some more Sculpey here. And I just kind of spread it apart with my fingers. And I don't know, I think for me, it's easier to just do it like this, just to get all the Sculpey on. And once it's on, and everything, it's easier just to kind of move it around like this. Some people will mount this to a stand, and you see them, and they're sculpting away, they're carving things out, they're putting little details and all that stuff. I haven't got to that stage yet. I'm just trying to get the Sculpey on the wire right now, and trying to get that taken care of as best I can. And yeah, so now I was thinking about putting the ears on, but I decided no, I'm going to kind of build up his head a little bit more. So I'm going to put some on the top of his head here. I think it's on the head. I don't know what I'm doing here. Am I doing the sides first? I don't know. Just trying to build out that head a little bit. And as you can see, he's just going along. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. let's see there we go. And we're putting that on, and it's just a lot of just kind of rubbing your fingers on the thing to smooth it out and blend it in as best you can. And don't worry, you don't have to get too detailed here. You're just trying to get the Sculpey on the wire, and then later on you'll go and you'll put in those details. So sometimes you have to just leave it alone, like I said, and let it harden up, and then go back and like add more stuff. So here I've decided I'm gonna do, while the head is kind of, I messed with that. Now I'm gonna do the arms. Just adding stuff to the arms, trying to put some Sculpey on that to make the kind of thin arms. And then I'm going to put his hands on there. Just very rough shapes, hand shapes, as you can see. Nothing too great, Trying to keep the arms kind of rounded and thin. And this is really nice because as I put this down, it holds the shape because of the wire. That's nice. And so I'm just going to make another hand here. Or maybe I'm not. No, I think I'm going to go right to the belly. So I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just adding a little extra stuff for his belly there. Trying to shape this out. Now, the whole thing about this is he's got these kind of wide hips. Short, kind of, I don't know. Definitely some kind of chicken leg kind of shaped legs. And right now, it looks like I'm making a hand. Trying to do a hand there. Just there's his thumb and his palm. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of get that shape on there as best I can. I don't have any fingers in there yet and all that. Fingernails, none of that stuff. Just trying to get that shape and put it on that wire and just kind of let it set up in there and get, a little bit more hard. So that when I do go back and start putting fingers and hands and all that, I'll be able to do that a lot easier. So that's all I'm doing there. And I like working like this because you can move the character around a lot easier. If you put it on a stand right away, maybe you're really good at that. I don't know. But for me, I want to have as much as control as possible. So I just want to get this thing as look at it from all angles and then add more things left and right and all that. So here I'm going to add some hips to him. And I just kind of get, one hip, that shape, and I kind of adjust it and kind of look at it, see where I'm going to put it. And then what I'll do is I'll take another piece of the Sculpey and I'll make another hip. And I'll try to get the two shapes to be about the same size. And then I kind of just blend it onto the area there. And like I said, just kind of eyeball this. Sometimes it gets too thick certain places. You gotta carve stuff out, to make it fit. So just getting these shapes, kind of just put them in there as best you can. And as you can see when I do this, as I'm doing this the whole time, I'm going, God, he's got really big hips. I mean, they're really, he's got pants on or something, big baggy pants. So, I mean, I can take care of that later. I just want to get the Sculpey on the actual thing. So that's not too bad. But it's still, compared to the drawing, you can see how big that is. So we got to do a little liposuction here. We got to do that. And we'll take care of that. And that's just something that happens. Now, I still, you've got this model sheet. It shows you from the front and the side and the back and all that. So you're constantly just kind of turning this around and working a little bit here and then looking at your drawing and just kind of moving it back the other way and trying to, get it out there. His legs come to a point at the bottom of the ankle. And that's all I'm doing there is just trying to smooth that out. Smooth out his butt shape. Doesn't really have a butt. It's just kind of a bowling bowling pin kind of shape. No butt cheeks or anything like that. So here we go. He's putting, I'm just putting in the feet now. Just getting those kind of set in there. And you notice I have that one piece of wire there. That's for when I put the, when I get this all done, I'll drill a hole in that base and then I'll put that wire through there. And hopefully it will stand up on its own, just like the brain one did. And so I'm just putting more extra details in here, getting a foot shape that I like. And, just keeping it simple, Just keeping it simple, thinking shapes the whole time. So there's this foot shape I'm making on the other one. And try to get the right thickness. And then I put it on the other one over here. And I just kind of blended it in as much as I can. Mainly just trying to cover that wire up as best I can. So it will stick to it. And there he is. There's Pinky, a rough sculpture of Pinky.
Okay, so I know what you're saying. You're thinking to yourself, wow, that looks like a really weird looking. I mean, is that really going to look like that guy? I don't know. It looks a little weird. I mean, to me, I keep thinking Daffy Duck with the ears. And that's something that happens. Sometimes you start making something, you start thinking, oh, well, that's his beak and that's his head. And you just have to kind of look at your drawing and kind of see like what is there. Let's see. So I'm trying to get his ears to kind of go back. His head has to go back. So right now, see his neck is very straight right there. So I have to kind of bend it back a little bit. I mean, you could bend it like this, see? It's still got a wire in there, see? So you could bend it a little like that. Now, the other thing that's happening as I'm doing this, I don't really have hot lights in here, but it is pretty warm. And what you'll find happens is your Sculpey gets really tacky. And it's like, you'll put something here and then it'll start to move and maybe you'll start to squish this in, press along this, and it goes really fast because this Sculpey is very warm right now. So it's very easy to like bend it around and all that. You see, he has really big hips here. So I'm trying to get those a little bit not so crazy. And that's why you have these cutting tools. You can just remove stuff here and there. But right now, this is fine. Again, you don't feel like you have to finish this in one sitting. It's probably sometimes good to get it to a certain point if you're getting a little frustrated with it. Things are, not working out. You're just like, this is not working. Why do I do this? Just put it aside, put it somewhere safe. What I usually do is I get like some plastic wrap or something and I wrap it around this. And, sometimes if you want to still work on it, you can just put this in not the freezer, but you can put it in your refrigerator and it'll cool this down a little bit. So when you go to touch it, it's not going to be so bendable. Now there is a wire model in here. So see, I'm bending it a little bit. He's bending around. So a lot of this is because this stuff the Sculpey is very, very loose right now. It's very warm, so it's very malleable. So if I put this in the refrigerator, not the freezer, then it will harden up a little bit and it'll be easier to deal with. Okay. Curve is basically kind of like this, and his head is kind of like that. So he's kind of got this arch in his back. Something like that, you see. Something like that. Now, again, this is getting kind of very, I mean, I'm getting hair in this thing and, you know, it's getting really wiggly. So I'm gonna put this in the freezer a little bit. Not freezer, sorry. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. Kind of cover this lightly. Put it lightly around them, like that. And then you would put this in the refrigerator. Is the Sculpey is getting too soft, and when it's soft like that, sometimes it's you know, you go to press on it and it just slides all over the place. It doesn't stick to your armature, like it'll move around on your armature, things like that. So what you have to do is you just have to be patient and just do a little bit, as much as you can on it, and then put it in the refrigerator. What I did is I wrapped it up in plastic like you saw, put it in the refrigerator for a little bit, not the freezer, just the refrigerator. And just keep it there a little bit. It'll cool it down a little bit, and then you can take it out. You don't want to probably leave it there all day, you know. Once it gets cooled off a little bit, you can, you know, put it somewhere in a cool area in your room or somewhere, not in the sun. And then when you feel like, okay, I'm going to tackle this again, and just set it up again and just start working. So that's what I'm going to do next time. Is I'm just going to take it out and try to work on some more of this. And again, this is the thing about sculpting. You don't have to do it in one sitting. It's not like a drawing where you're drawing someone's face and you just try to get it all right and get it all perfect and everything. Sometimes you got to just do as much as you can and then put it aside and then come back to it and start working on it again. So, and nobody can sculpt that fast. On YouTube, everybody will speed up their stuff. Yeah, so don't worry about that either. So just take your time, and it's fun. It's listen to music if you like, you know, whatever you want to do. It's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be, you know, work. All right, so have fun with it, and I'll see you next time on Animateducated. Building Pinky, part 3. All right, coming up next. All right, and also, if you'd like to, if you like this idea, if you like this series I'm doing, go ahead and press that button right there. That will subscribe you. I already have like 491 subscribers. Remember, the 500th one will win a special prize. I got to get your email, though, so I can figure out how to get it to you. So also, if you want to look at this video here, this is a pretty good one. And that one over there is not bad either. All right, so take care. We'll see you next time on Animateducated.